Hello there friends, this is Midas from Katie's Droid here with another tutorial on Scratch, and today we are going to be building a game. The project we're going to be working on today is a spaceship game, and the spaceship game here is going to have multiplayer. It's going to be a multiplayer game that you and your friend or you and your siblings could actually play together, and it's going to be a really fun one. So let's get right into it. So first of what I want to do is I want to change this sprite. I want to first work on the players, which is the first player, which is the spaceship. So let's head on into the sprite library to get ourselves a spaceship right here. Now there's a lot of here. You could just, if you pay attention, you'll find out that these the sprites here are quite arranged alphabetically, but you can just come here and search for what you're looking for. Spaceship, rocket ship, sorry. Okay, so rocket ship here, this is it. Okay, so this is exactly what I am looking for. Now this is pretty big, especially if you want to have a lot of characters on it. So you could just reduce the size here, but I recommend, for the sake of your project, in case you don't want to lose, you want to have full control of the project, it's important to always have whatever you do here, whatever edit you make in this section, also have it done here. Okay, so first thing we want to do is, of course, let's bring out when the green flag is clicked, so that you could have full control of when the game starts and when the game ends. Now we have when the green flag is clicked. The first thing we want to do when the green flag is clicked, we want the size of this rocket ship to reduce. Okay, so let's set the size to get set size to from the looks section. Set size to say 40. So if I click on the green flag, so it's down to 40. Okay, so 40 is fine. Now also, if you notice, if you pay very close attention, you find out that there is a part, like a smoke, from this costume that is sticking out, and I don't really want that. Or should you want to change or redesign your rocket ship, you could come to the costumes here, and then you see the different costumes that are available for your sprite. Yeah, so now see what I meant. This one does not have it. This one does not have it. This one has one here, this one has one here. This one does not really have it, but this one does, and this is particular one I don't want, just this one. So to remove that, I could easily just get this eraser and just wipe this off. Now I'm done with that. So see, so now it has reduced, and this is the whole of my project. I could do the same thing for this guy. Okay, this one is fine. I could do the same thing for this guy here, and just maybe erase this one and this one. Of course, just to give it effects to let it have the feel that it is actually moving. Now we're also going to make use of costumes very soon to see how we can make this turn while it is moving. Okay, so now if you come back to the select icon here, and now you see that it's fine now. Okay, so let's return back to the code section where we're stacking our codes. Okay, so first what we want to do is we want to organize the control of this sprite, which is, well, what that means is that the keys that will be managing or will be controlling this character in the game, and probably where we want the character to start with. Since we want to make it a two-player game, if you wanted to make it a one-player game, you could just put it in the middle. Since it's going to be a two-player game, it would be fair enough to put it somewhere on the left-hand side, maybe somewhere around here. Okay, so if you always wanted to start there, you have to go to motion, and still right before you start stacking blocks that are going to make it stick to the top or stick to one location, or before you start stacking blocks that will make it move around, you want to put all the blocks that will make the game start in place. first you want to set the stage in place first, and to do that you have to put everything directly under the when gray flag clicked button block. So we'll click on go to x minus 139 and y minus 142. So this x and this y they represent the position, the vertical and the horizontal position of this sprite right here, and you can tell that from here. See here, you have on the horizontal position the x is minus 139, and on the y on the vertical axis is minus 142. For easy understanding, what that really means is that the y pretty much represents the position of this sprite when considering the vertical, that is up here, down to down. So even if you're considering here or here or here, the position will always be the same when it comes to the y. However, for the x, if you're moving from left to right, the position will always be the same too for the x, even if it is up or down. So now that we've set that in place, now this is what it means. If I move this here, once I click on the green flag, it comes back here. If I take it here, click on the green flag. Now even if I increase the size from here to 400, say, too big, once I click on the green flag, it comes back here. Beautiful. Now, let us adjust how our sprite is going to be moving. Okay, so now we want to bring out the block called forever. The forever block is going to be responsible, is a loop that allows every block you place inside it to continue running, to keep repeating itself after a certain time. Okay, so after all the blocks are done, after the blocks in the forever block are done running, they start over again. That's why you have this this arrow pointing back upward saying it's going to start over. Okay, so now what we're going to do is first we're going to go and bring out this block. Now this is the if then block. It's a condition to check if something is happening, and what we want to use it for is to check when we are pressing a certain key on our keyboard. To get that into place, once you've brought out the if then block, then we'll go into the sensing section here. Click on sensing, and sensing here you can find out different blocks that help you to check how the sprite responds to things around it, including your computer mouse and keyboard, So I have touching mouse pointer. If it is touching the mouse pointer like this, or maybe some other sprite, colors, the distance. Now what we really want to use here is this one, is key space pressed, and key space here meaning the space bar on your keyboard. So let's break out this one right here, and now notice how this space here glows when it comes close. So right there, you don't have to try and fit it in. Once you take it close and you find that it's glowing, yes, it's ready to accept your block. So now we've got this out. We want to say if that. Now if you read it as a sentence, the cool thing about Scratch is that you can pretty much understand every script you put on the in the script area. Now if you don't understand what script is, I'll say script are these blocks stacked together are the scripts, right? So all these are the scripts. Now if you don't understand the script, you can pretty much read it and then you quickly grasp what it is trying to say. So click on this one. Let's start with up arrow. So this means that if key up arrow is pressed, then what happens? If key up arrow is pressed, then what happens? So what we want it to do is we want key up arrow to make it go upward, right? So key up arrow. Now to make it go upward, we are going to come to motion. Now a lot of people might think we're going to use move 10 steps. In this case, not really. What we're going to use is a block. We're going to look for a block that says change y by 10. Now remember, earlier I did mention that the y position is responsible for making things go upward and downwards, right? is responsible for the position of the sprite in the stage area here, on the upward axis and downward axis, that is the vertical axis. So I'll bring out change y by 10. Now that I've done this, okay, maybe I just want to reduce 10 to maybe 5 so it doesn't move too far. So if I click on the green flag right now and I press the up arrow key on my keyboard, see it's going up. But if I press the down arrow key, it's not working neither at the left or the right. Now the reason why that is that, remember, we are the ones creating the game, so until we ask it to do something, it is not going to know what it's supposed to do. It's a computer. We are literally training the sprite, which we could call our robot in this case. We are literally training it to understand how we want it to behave. So we only programmed the up arrow, and if you click on the green flag, it will return to its place. Now you could easily just come here to start and start bringing out new blocks, or you could just right click on this if then here, and it's going to help you duplicate every block that is attached to it inside. For example, we have the up arrow and then the change y by 5. So if I right click this, see, it makes me a duplicate of it without even holding it. Right, so that does it. Now this is now that I have this, so I'm just gonna change this one to maybe down arrow. Now, of course, remember I said that change y is responsible for going up and down. So if 5 makes it go up, or we're using 5 as the number to make it go up, then to come down with the same speed or the same rate, we will use -5 or -5, which is this. Let me write it clearly. So we have minus and 5. Okay, so now if I press the up arrow, it goes up, and I press the down arrow, it comes down. Okay, that looks nice. Okay, so we could do the same thing. Now I could right click here again. I could right click right here again to duplicate it for the left arrow, and I'll right click again to duplicate for the right arrow. Or I could just duplicate it from here, and this time around it's going to pick both the if thens, because the way Scratch works is that, first off, if you want to move blocks that are attached to each other, you want to take the topmost block, the one at the top. So if I want to carry everything here, I'm going to move it from here. And if I don't want to carry the when green flag clicked, but I want to move every other thing, I'm going to move it from the next block. So if I want to move all the if thens in this block, in this script, I will leave out the forever and I'll just move the if thens like this. I'll turn it back. If I wanted to move just the forever, I'll click on the forever and take everything out. However, what we want to do is we want to move the we want to duplicate this if then. So I could do this. I'll take this one, I can put this one right down here, but then it might seem confusing, so I'll just drop this back here. I'll reduce this a bit. So I'll just duplicate just one again like we did the first time. Now I'll change this one to right arrow. This change y by 5 won't work anymore because we're talking about left and right now, and then the y is for only going up and down. So we're going to take out this y and replace it from motion blocks with our change x by 10. Change x by 10 is going to make it go right. Make it to edit it to 5. So if I click on the green flag, now it's going right, it's going up, and it's going down, still going right. So of course, just like we did for the down arrow, to make it go left, duplicate this one and place it right here, and make this go left. Put a minus right in front of it to make it go left. Okay, so right now we can say we have successfully designed how we make our sprites, or our character in this case, player one's character, will move. Interesting. Okay. However, let's make it come to life. Let's make it look like a real rocket ship. It's going to, so it can look fun, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to use its costumes here, the costumes we have here. So we have 5 costumes here. This one is for when it's this bubble, these 2 bubbles right here represent the smoke, assuming it is actually flying in space. And then this is trying to explain that it is kind of rotating. So see that back to here, to here, to here, to here. Now this is its state of not moving at all, like it is about to take off, and that is really not what ours is about today. So we don't really need this one. We don't really need this sprite, but I won't delete it yet. I'll show you why we don't need it. So let's go back to the code section. Now that we are done with this one, now that we're done with this part, we could decide to put a block that is going to be responsible for turning this, which is just next costume in looks. We could just put next costume and ask it to wait maybe a second or 2 right here. Now look at the way it's moving. Look at the way it's moving. Now it's moving, you could say it's moving too fast, and it's not looking as exciting as we would have preferred it, I guess. So in this case, you might try to come to the control section here and get a wait 1 second block, which is the first one, to tell it to wait a second, and you can adjust that to maybe 0.3, or maybe let's use 0.1 instead. You can look at it. Now the issue with it is that if you try and move your arrow keys, they won't move. Look at it, it's moving really slowly. Like unlike the way it was moving earlier, now it's moving really slowly. I'm pressing the arrow keys, it's moving really slowly. The reason for that is because, remember I told you the things in Forever work in order. So it's trying to read through these blocks. However, when it is trying to change a costume and working through the 0.1, it goes this way. That means it has to finish this set of blocks going down this way, and then it has to reiterate back to the top again, and then goes down this way and it reiterates back to the top. So it's taking the time off. Now if I take these 2 out and I try to move the arrow keys, now it's moving slightly faster than it was before, and it's not disturbed by the wait 0.1 second. So if we really want that to work out easily, what we can do is we could say that we are done with the movement. We could just easily highlight that this is for the movement, and to do that, let us right click on this grey flag here and let's add a comment. It's good to add comment a lot in your code to tell you exactly what a certain script or a certain block is doing. That way it helps you to, whenever you've done so much code and then you can't really remember what one script is really is responsible for, then the comment is going to help you out. It's going to help you remember whatever you did there. So I'll just write scripts for scripts for moving sprites. Okay, so that does it. I could just reduce this and okay. Right. So now that I've done this one, I could just move this to the side here. So the block is still there. It's just for me to have more space to be able to add new set of blocks. And what we can do now, since we still have these 2 here that we attached, that is supposed to be these 2 are supposed to be making this sprite turn on its own. So we're going to bring out an if then, a forever block, since that we just wanted to keep turning on forever as long as the game is started. So we're going to bring out another when green flag click and place it on top of that forever. Now See, look at that. So now it moves, but now you're probably not noticing it, but while it is changing the sprite, it is changing to a particular one. Let me slow it down a bit, maybe 1 second. See, now you get to see how slow it's changing. It's changing to a particular one that has no flames. Look at that, this one. That is why we want to delete the other sprite, the other costume rather, the costume that is not having the flames, detecting that it is not moving up. So I'm just going to stop this. I'll go to costumes and I'll click on this last one here. So this is how to delete it. Just click on the trash can icon attached to its top right corner. So not this one, the fifth one. Good. So I've deleted that one, and I'll just return to the code. So now if I click on go, it starts rotating. I'll change this back to 0.1. That is very less above a second now. I think it's much smoother now. Okay, so you could expand this to see exactly how your code is doing. And from my point of view, it seems our sprite is doing just fine. Alright, so okay, so now that we're done with this, I don't know if you guys have any questions. In case you have any questions, remember that you can easily just drop your questions right down below there. Make sure to respond to them. And the next part we're going to be adding are going to be falling rocks. That should be falling rocks from space, and I'll be adding that in the next video. So until then, I really appreciate you guys to like and subscribe to our channel for more Scratch videos and more programming videos like this. Until the next video, please stay safe. Bye bye.